Yeah, this this movie obviously without the schmuck Daniel LaRusso, the scrawny kid scumbag from Jersey. Obviously, the one true hero of this entire franchise is Johnny Lawrence, and this was all pre-Cobra Kai. So I think we actually addressed this on one of the live Q&As, but the entire idea for this series was born from a random YouTube video, but it actually could have predated even that. Let's take a look. I mean, obviously online people have been discussing this for quite a long time, but let's look at this season 4 episode 15 of the TV show How I Met Your Mother, which aired March 2nd, 2009, before we dive into this, tracing this chronologically.
Your requests!
Oh, thank you, Marshall.
Oh, not that one!
An appearance by my all-time idol, the Karate Kid!
The Karate Kid was an uplifting 80s classic about a teen, played by Ralph Macchio, who defeats the local jerk, played by William Zabka. At least that's how most people saw it.
Here he is, just as hot as when his Tiger Beat photo spread gave a young girl the courage to explore the suddenly unfamiliar topography of her changing body. The Karate Kid!
Hey, Barney, it's Ralph. Listen, it's always flat.
No! I hate Ralph Macchio. I hate him, hate him, hate him. He is not the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid was William Zabka, star pupil of the Cobra Kai dojo, whom this monster defeated with a cheap, illegal head kick.
And we're actually going to do an examination of whether that kick was legal or illegal. And we're gonna get a very definitive answer here. For some reason, some believe this is up for discussion, but I mean, this is very, very clear-cut. Obviously, fair use here on this clip. Nothing but fair use. Fair use all the time.
In the most tragically haunting film ending of all time.
Oh, see, I thought you meant fun crazy.
Shut it, Ralph Macchio. Why don't you go have a party with Luke Skywalker and Harry Potter and Warhorse and all the other movie bad guys and stop ruining mine? This night has been catastrophic.
Catastrophic! Everybody pound.
Sorry, bro.
Face or the crotch! Surprise! What's going on?
Well, we decided to give you everything you wanted for your bachelor party without you even realizing it.
Wait, so that's why you made me think Marshall might die? And I'd lost all that money and my friends hated me and my wedding was off? You just decided to check off everything on this list in the most twisted way imaginable? That is awesome!
And it was all planned by a girl.
Wow.
So, Lily, later on tonight, you want to,
Whoa, that was all just part of the act. You knew that, right?
Yeah, totally. We pulled it off, right? Platonic shake.
You know what's kind of weird? How many people don't or think that Macho doesn't give off the skeezy, scummy vibe? Because he's got it in every single movie, every single interview, every single real-life interview. I mean, outside of The Karate Kid and My Cousin Vinny, which of course he was the worst part of, even though the movie's highly entertaining, I mean, has he even done anything? I mean, just so scummy here.
Everyone, thank you for an incredible bro mitzvah.
Mazel brov.
Oh, you didn't really get everything on the list. No offense to Ralph Macchio, but he ain't the Karate Kid.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, they almost didn't get me. But after 18 voicemails, I returned Robin's call. And she told me how you're one of the few people in the world who truly gets the Karate Kid movie. So when she asked if I'd help, well, my answer just had to be. Thanks! William Zabka!
So there you have it. That was the season 4, episode 15 episode of How I Met Your Mother, referencing these online theories. Now let's take it a step further. J. Matthew Turner uploaded this video almost a decade ago. This was August 23rd, 2015. The Karate Kid, Daniel, is the real bully. So let's look at the origin of this.
The Karate Kid is the story of Daniel, a violent sociopath who moves to a California town and begins tormenting a local boy and his friends. Johnny is a high school senior with a commitment to atone for past mistakes and move his life forward in a positive direction.
No, ex-degenerate, man. 8 a.m. tomorrow, I'm a senior. I've got 1 year to make it all work. And that's what I'm gonna do, make it work.
They are destined to meet when Daniel's neighbor invites him to a beach party where he becomes instantly obsessed with Johnny's newly ex-girlfriend, Allie.
Hi.
After a courtship ritual consisting solely of creepy, unbroken eye contact, he approaches her, only to be summarily rebuffed. Johnny arrives to patch things up with Allie, but the discussion becomes heated.
Well, I want to talk to you, all right?
Now I want to be clear about this. What Johnny is doing is not okay, and he should respect her wish to be left alone. Johnny is, in the end, a flawed hero. But one thing he is definitely not doing is getting violent. Daniel, however, seeing an opportunity to insert himself into Allie's life, chooses to escalate the situation, demanding the return of Allie's radio. Frustrated and heartbroken, Johnny complies with Daniel's request, and in the heat of the moment, pushes him down. Daniel now has the radio, and Allie is still in no danger. Nevertheless, he attacks Johnny, who merely steps aside, allowing Daniel to knock himself to the ground twice.
I mean, it is kind of hard to argue with this. I mean, the amount of restraint here by this physical specimen, Johnny Lawrence. I mean, he could have easily added punches and kicks and stomped this guy's lights out. But he chose pretty much the least physical option. Just a trip allowing this goofy Daniel kid, this goofy Jersey punk, to fall all over himself. I mean, this is, he didn't throw any punches or kicks here. There was a shove to get him to back off. Then Daniel attempts to sucker punch him. He steps aside, trips him, then does it again. I mean, this is... I mean, I don't know how much more restraint you can expect from a high school kid in an altercation about a girl. I mean, clearly martial arts and the Cobra Kai dojo has taught him a lot about self-control here. Clearly.
I didn't do anything.
But when Daniel refuses to let it go, Johnny must use force to end this violent outburst, for the safety of everyone present. So what is Daniel's response to Johnny's non-aggression? Pow! A sucker punch right to the mouth.
And already you can see the punk tendencies of LaRusso here. So he plays possum. He's playing possum here. Pretending to be more hurt than he is. And then Zabka comes up. It's unclear what he's going to do. Whether he's going to offer a hand to help him up or to just threaten him to stay away. And then bam! Sucker punch. So you could already see the scumbag tendencies of LaRusso here.
A sucker punch right to the mouth. Johnny defends himself, as is his legal right, and then de-escalates the situation by leaving the scene entirely. The next day in school, Daniel trips while playing sport ball. Rather than accepting that occasional bumps and bruises will happen during playtime, Daniel instead externalizes the blame onto Johnny's friend Bobby and proceeds to ground and pound him, MMA style. A few days later, Daniel attempts to enroll at a karate school, obviously intending to up his game so he can get revenge on Johnny. Put it this way, how would you feel if someone picked a fight with you, lost, and then went out the next day and bought a gun? Well, that's exactly how Johnny feels when Daniel shows up at Cobra Kai, so he decides to send a message. Your violence will not be tolerated, because Johnny knows what can happen when you teach karate to a person with a bad attitude. Months go by and no one bothers anyone. Clearly this conflict is over. Until Daniel, unprovoked and for absolutely no reason, drenches Johnny with water in the middle of a school function, ruining his night.
And that's another good point there. I mean, you know, boys will be boys, there were scuffles, etc., but apparently everything was fine. And then he just decides to pull this prank for no reason, knowing full well, but, you know, so Daniel Russo is pretty stupid, but we're not going to say he's mentally disabled, are we? Like, we're not going to call him a vegetable. He must know full well the level of escalation that would result from this prank. Because he knows full well this is a karate guy with a hot temper, with other karate guy friends with hot tempers. So everything was basically fine, the heat all died down, there were supposedly no more issues. And then LaRusso's the great escalator. This Jersey scumbag.
To add irony to injury, in the middle of a school function, ruining his night. To add irony to injury, Johnny was at that very moment sparking up a J, which is just about the least violent thing you can do.
That weasel snagged the bee. All right.
But I digress. Daniel has crossed the line this time and he knows it. After causing a multi-car collision, he flees into the night.
I mean, this narcissistic, ego-dominated goof scumbag from Jersey is just, he's such a terror. I mean, he's just causing issues everywhere he goes. What a scumbag goof.
There is no telling what further damage this unbalanced and violent
And that's kind of rude and inconsiderate of other people's property to just run across somebody's hood like that. Look at all that space to the right. He could have easily walked around. You know, the goof just stomps all over an innocent civilian's vehicle.
individual will do, and once again, it falls on Johnny to contain Daniel's fury. After local busybody, karate master, and child batterer Mr. Miyagi intervenes, Daniel convinces him that this is somehow all Johnny's fault. So they go to Johnny's sacred place, the Cobra Kai studio, and challenge him to yet another fight. Johnny accepts the challenge and even agrees to refrain from defending himself against any more of Daniel's unprovoked aggression until the match.
No one touches the prima donna until the tournament.
Daniel, of course,
Man, Kreese really was smart and observant, even back in those days, or as Andrew Tate would say, perspicacious. Very observant at the prima donna that LaRusso is. I mean, that's a good word for LaRusso. Prima donna. I mean, pansy's another one. Or back in the day, they'd call him a Nancy boy.
sees this as a license to continue to harass Johnny in public with impunity.
Alright, watch this. Hey guys, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hey, sorry about the eye there, Johnny. Shoulder okay, Tommy? You guys be careful not to go stepping in front of any more buses now, alright?
The day of the tournament arrives. Johnny is there, defending his title. Daniel, meanwhile, is a danger to himself and others as he doesn't even know the basic.
And real quick here, for the people that argue that face kicks are legal,
Meanwhile,
kicks to the head are legal. Kicks directly to the face
rules
are not. So look here. They point to some of these matches in the tournament with people getting kicked in the face to try to say that it's legal. These kicks are clearly to the side of the head and not to the front of the face. I mean, that was the side of the head. That wasn't a front kick to the face. But we'll get to that later.
Hey, sorry about the eye there, Johnny. Shoulder okay, Tommy? You guys be careful not to go stepping in front of any more buses now, all right?
The day of the tournament arrives. Johnny is there, defending his title. Daniel, meanwhile, is a danger to himself and others as he doesn't even know the basic rules of engagement.
All right, what are the rules here?
To no one's surprise, Johnny advances to the final round, and Karma catches up with Daniel when his leg is injured by the boy he wantonly attacked on the soccer field. However, just as Johnny is about to be awarded his trophy, Daniel is granted unnatural strength by the demon sorcerer Miyagi, enabling him to defeat Johnny and win the tournament in an upset. Ever mindful of good sportsmanship, Johnny lets go of his sadness at losing, subjugates his ego, and personally presents Daniel with his tainted blood trophy. May you choke on it in your wet dreams, you rotten...
Does anybody think that Daniel would have been this good sport if it was reversed? If Johnny had cheated and kicked him straight in the face with an illegal hit, would Daniel LaRusso present him with the trophy? What does everybody think about that? Alright, so let's get into the nature of this kick, whether it was illegal or not. But clearly, the storyline had already been written long before the TV show kind of embraced this narrative to a certain extent. This was supposed to be Johnny's show. In later seasons, it kind of got hijacked. We'll be getting into that as well. But let's break down the rules here. So in Karate Kid 3, so supposedly the only rule change is that if there are no points, it goes to sudden death. This was revealed in Karate Kid Part 3. Also, in Karate Kid Part 3, the referee clearly lays out the rules that everybody knows because they've always been the same. So let's listen to this for anybody hallucinating that the kick was legal. Actually, let's watch the kick. I don't think I put the kick on the screen yet, so let's actually get the kick on the screen. So here is the kick, the infamous kick directly to the front of the face. So this isn't like a round kick to the side of the head or anything like that, because those are technically legal because they're not directly to the face. Now, I don't know if we have to deal with people who don't understand basic English, but the face is the front of the head, not the side of the head. The face is what contains your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. The side of the head is not the face. That's the side of the head. So now let's watch the rules being read in Karate Kid Part 3. And right before this, the ref just says that the only new change is that there could be sudden death. So apparently the rest of the rules are identical all the time.
Know the rules. Light contact is allowed to the body, and I do mean light, Mr. Barnes. No face contact is allowed. Any violation of the rules will result in a penalty point. On your line. No face contact is allowed. 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 No face contact. Know the rules.
So, if any LaRusso bootlickers exist, I mean, can this be any more clear? Can this be dumbed down any further? Because a lot of goofs online are saying no punches to the face, but kicks to the face are allowed. No striking the face is allowed either by kick or punch. No face contact. And that's actually, in a lot of karate tournaments, that is the rule. Like, you can't punch or kick straight to the face. But you can to the side of the head. Or the rest of the body. So this is pretty consistent with many karate tournaments. Alright, let's go to, that was Exhibit A. Let's go to Exhibit B, the prima donna's own mouth.
At the beginning, they say no kicks to the face, or whatever the referee says at the beginning. So I guess in retrospect on what the initial rules were, arguably it could have been, but it's power of suggestion.
So this scumbag, look at the sleaze coming off of this guy. It's practically emanating from his pores. Just this scuzzy, skeezy vibe. But anyway, he copes by saying it's the power of suggestion. He later goes on to elaborate. Basically, it's like storytelling, character story, so you kind of get away with it. But clearly, even he admitted, but even he couldn't, like, his ego wouldn't let him to admit it directly. So he had to, cope with this phrasing of in retrospect of the rules were, it could have arguably been. I mean, just the level of gophery there. But in this article here on The Wrap from 2018, let's look at this. The exact quote here was, no hits to the face was clearly something when the referee made a list of things of what not to do. So no hits to the face. No punching or kicking directly to the face. So is there anything left to discuss here? From the goofs that hallucinated wasn't illegal by trying to point to other matches where people are getting kicked in the head, but not directly the front of the face. And even if they did skim the face a little bit, it's kind of like no hits to the back of the head in MMA. Like, it could happen in skirmishes. That's completely different, or in scramble situation when feet and fists are flying all over the place. But this is clearly a premeditated, intentional direct kick to the face, directly to the front of the face. Like, there's no chance it was like intended as a round kick that skimmed part of the face. Like, you could argue in the tournament, some of the matches, they were kicking the side of the head, but the foot might have brushed part of the face. This is completely different. This is a direct, intentional, single kick to the front of the face. Not in a scramble, not in the middle of random kicks and punching while both guys are moving. Johnny's going straight at him, and he kicks him directly straight to the front of the face. So, there's no way, I mean, I don't know how many LaRusso bootlickers can hallucinate that this is somehow legal in any way. This is a blatant violation of the rules. Now, who knows how devious the filmmakers were? Because, Ralph Macchio's this just scrawny punk kid that it's a stretch of the imagination that he could beat a physical specimen like Zabka, even with cheating. But again, who knows how much of this demon magic that Miyagi implanted in Daniel when he took the pain away from his leg. I mean, we really don't know exactly what kind of other voodoo Miyagi was doing behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, just, and the sportsmanship of Johnny, like, this clear violation of the rules. I mean, the most blatant violation we've ever seen. Like, this isn't some kind of accident or some kind of scramble situation. Just an absolute clear violation, blatant. So now that we've firmly established that LaRusso's the clear villain here, the narcissistic villain, just everything about his attitude, just screams this narcissistic Jersey scumbag.